right, what up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Talk Yo Shift. This is
Man,
Derek.
I'm Antoine.
So we back for another one, man. And you know what I appreciate about our conversations the most, man? It's like we ain't trying to come at y'all like scholars, bro, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I do not know everything. I'm still learning a lot of stuff. There's still a lot of things that I'm deconstructing, still a lot of things that I'm still trying to figure out. There's some beliefs that I've let go of, and I haven't found where I'm at yet with those beliefs just yet. So it's like it's still a journey, and it's like
You
I
haven't
think
landed anywhere
I
yet. You
haven't
still
landed,
journeying through that. Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I think that that's a place that a lot of people really need is a place to be okay. I don't know where I'm at with that. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
I just know that that ain't right. I
Facts.
just know that that ain't safe. That's not good. So
Facts.
it's like, and that's really what I want my life story to be. Is that De'Eric always created a space where people can just journey and not really have all the answers and not have the pressure of having to know what to believe and what to say and what this is like, man, I
Facts.
don't know where I'm at with that. You know what I'm saying?
Like facts. Like you said, bro. I mean, even if we don't have all the answers, which we're not, because we're all journeying, learning, growing,
For
shifting,
sure.
right? So we're not gonna have all the answers. However, we can know what not to do, what's not safe, like you said, what's harmful. And if we start there, then on that journey, I think we can come to conclusions on what is that right answer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't want to be one of them Christians that just give word salad. You know what I'm saying? Like they give you all these flips and turns
Yeah.
and it's like at the end of the day, you still didn't say nothing, bro. Like
You still didn't really give me an answer. You really didn't answer my question. You just tried to. You threw whatever you could at the wall and hope something stuck.
yeah, yeah. I'm like I'm finding more peace and just be like, man, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know
Facts.
where I'm at with that. Like,
Yeah.
and I ain't really trying to find out right now. Like that ain't even. I'll get to that when it's time to get to that. But it's like I don't know where I'm at with that right now. Like
I ain't
I
got to
gotta
rush the process.
I gotta journey through that and see what's really going on.
Most definitely.
But so yeah, that's why I appreciate these conversations, man, and I appreciate having these conversations with you, man, because
Yeah, bro. You too.
I consider you a friend and a brother, and I consider you a human being that's journeying as well. Like you had a point in your life where you realized the math wasn't mathing,
Hmm.
and you took it upon yourself to take that extra step and do the research and study and figure out what's going on and really wrestle with a lot of beliefs, wrestle with a lot of scriptures, man. And then you had the courage to start sharing it online, man. And I think people need that, man. People need people that's real and honest and still keep their feet to the ground. But at the same time, it's like, no, we still figuring all this out. Like, I ain't trying to come at you and say, you know, I got all the answers because I don't. And that's too much pressure to be acting like I got all the answers. Even if I was a scholar,
Wouldn't have all the answers. Because
that's
if you had all the answers, then you've got it all figured out. And if you got it all figured out, you don't really need nobody's help. You the one person that ain't growing
nah,
because you've
can't,
already got it figured out.
I can't do it. I
Yeah.
can't do it, man. That's a scary place to be.
Hmm.
But
Most definitely, bro.
anyway, we got an amazing conversation going on today. What I appreciate about this conversation is what the reason why I'm excited about this conversation, should I say, is because it's 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 really getting down into why people stay connected to things that they know is not healthy for them.
Mm.
And this is really something that's like this is in a whole bunch of different aspects. This is in relationships. This is like why are you staying at certain jobs that you hate? Why are
Yeah.
you staying in a relationship that's not good for you? Why are you, you know, staying at a church that's not growing or not good for
Right.
you? Like it's really something that it's a question that you gotta ask yourself when you just find yourself in these cycles, right?
Right. All
And
aspects of life.
yeah. So and the question that I wanted to ask that I think we can journey through in this conversation is why do people stay in toxic belief systems?
Mm.
Right? So like we've deconstructed a lot when it came to our faith and our beliefs. And when you look at where you've come from, when you look at the beliefs that you've let go of, and when you look at the systems you used to be a part of, sometimes it does break your heart, man, to see people still in that. And it's not that we're in a better I'm not coming from a position of, "Man, I'm better off than them." It's just
Right.
like, man,
For sure.
I realized how harmful certain things were, and it was
Yeah.
like I couldn't continue in that.
Facts. And
You
now
know what
that
I'm
you're on the
saying?
other side of it and you're seeing other people experiencing it, that's what breaks your heart. Not necessarily like, I've got it figured out now, and they don't.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't wanna bash that. I don't wanna bash
Mhm.
them. I don't wanna bash people that are still, you know, believe in certain things that I just think don't bring any good in their life.
For sure.
They don't produce any love, they don't really produce any liberation or freedom, and they don't
Yeah.
really show them the heart of God. But it's like, I don't wanna bash them, I really have a concern, but I also want to kinda journey through why people find themselves still in the same toxic belief systems.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is really more of a it's psychological, right? It's not
Absolutely.
religion bashing, it's not church bashing or nothing like that. It's really just kind of looking at human behavior. And I'm no psychologist, but it's just like that's one of them questions it's like I always want the answer to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know that female or even that male that's in an abusive relationship and it's like, bro, why do you keep going back to them?
Right.
You know, and it's like but it's
Yeah.
like, it ain't always just a black and white answer. It's a lot of nuance that comes with that. And there's a lot of nuance in this question as to
I
why
agree.
do people stay in toxic belief systems? You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
that's what we're gonna dive into today.
Yeah. We're
So
gonna get
Twan,
into it.
I'm gonna ask you a question, bro, and I'll answer the question too, but let's just jump it off right here. When was the
Let's get it.
first time or the first moment you realized something in your belief system did not sit right with you?
Bro, I would say so like pinpointing an exact moment is hard, but I would
Sure.
say like there was a time where I remember where my thoughts began to shift. Um and I think what it was for me was I thought about how much I loved my family,
Mhm.
loved friends, loved people that I have built relationship with, right? That
Yeah.
I have intimate bonds with. And I thought about like what I believed and how I believe as opposed to how I felt about the people that I did life with. And for me, it was, obviously the fundamentalist view of like, Jesus paid the penalty for our sin.
Yeah.
If you believe that, you have an opportunity to go to heaven when you die, if you trust and believe in that.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you don't, the consequences is hell for eternity. And so obviously for a long time, I kind of stuck with that belief out of fear, which we're going to get into later.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like, struggling with, man, I love my mom, I love my brother, I love my sister, I love whoever,
Yeah.
right? I love these people in my life. And if they don't believe exactly the way I do, if they don't have the correct thinking, right, the right doctrine,
Yeah.
then they don't get to receive like this gift that, the Christian community or the church is telling me that's what you have to receive. So I think for me, it was experiencing that think and thinking that people will go to hell when they would die. And like, bro, that really just kind of broke my heart and brought a whole bunch of like fear and anxiety and like just like, bro, I couldn't even focus on like just doing life and resting and just enjoying life because I was always thinking about like my eternity when I die instead of like my present right now.
Yeah, man.
So that was it for me, bro. And I think like I just went on a journey after that of like figuring out if this is really the truth, then I gotta really figure out how can I get smart enough or intellectual enough to like convince my family that this thing is true right here.
Got you.
And I start to learn that obviously that is harmful because in psychology, like I said, like we both said, we're not psychologists, but the study of the human brain, that's not obviously it's not healthy to be doing a thing out of a motivating factor such as like fear or anxiety. Like psychology would tell us that's
It's
unhealthy.
not healthy. Yeah, yeah.
Feel me? See what I'm saying? So it's like I started to learn those things as my journey went on. And I had got to a point where, like you said, I start studying this stuff out for myself and, the original language and all that stuff. And that's just kind of when it shifted for me.
Yeah.
But what about you, bro? I got to hear yours. You got one?
Hell yeah, man.
You do?
Adam and Eve story.
Oh,
The Adam and Eve story is starting not adding up for me.
let's talk about it. Come on.
Because it was always the foundation piece as to why humanity is in the condition that it's in, right? So
Mhm.
anytime, of course, the belief system that I came from, and I know you came from it too, was just sin consciousness, right? That was the focal point. It was sin. It was
Mhm.
sin. How do we identify sin? It's believing that you're a sinner, and it's believing that humanity has this sin problem, and we all are striving to stop sinning. Like, that was a focus.
Mhm.
And it was like, okay, well, as a kid, you're being told all of these stories in Sunday school, and as you grow up and in church, and it's like, okay, well, then where did this start then? Like, how did we become these horrible people? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And it always pointed back to the Adam and Eve story.
I always went back to the
So I'm like,
garden.
where did we get this story from? And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And then it's a bunch of this like first of all, I'm a kid at the time. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
already used to reading fiction books, nonfiction books and mystical books and stuff that you learn in school. Like, and then the movies, the Disney movies, Beauty and the Beast and
Bigfoot.
Toy Story. And it's like everything was like
Yeah.
mystical, and it was just this world, a
Yeah.
whimsical world of a whole bunch of unrealistic stuff happening.
Yep.
So then you tell me that my real condition of me as a human is pointed back to this story that has a bunch of Disney stuff going on in it. You know what I'm
Literally.
saying? It's like you got a talking snake that's having this conversation with you, and he's telling you that the reason why God don't want you to eat from this tree is because he don't want you to be, wiser than him, or
Yes.
and it's like,
Yeah.
so it's like, as I kept growing up, the story just kept making less and less sense to me.
Yeah.
And then it just started not holding as much weight to me anymore. So it's like it it really messed me up, bro, because I was like,
Mhm.
our whole existence is predicated on this story. Like, when you read in Genesis that God made us in the likeness and image of him,
Mhm.
but then Adam and Eve, they messed that up for us. So it's like
Right.
their behavior trumped what God already named, like what God had already called us. He called us
Right.
his, and in his likeness and his image. And
Right.
it's just that just never set well with me. That whole
Yeah.
story, it just never set well with me. And to this day, it's like that's the premise of everyone's origin story.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? And it's just like that never set well with me. That's when it made me start asking more questions. Of course, not as a kid, because
Yeah.
I was a good kid, right? I wasn't
Right.
one. I wasn't one for confrontation, and I wasn't one for pushback. So it's like I wasn't being disruptive and asking questions. But as I got older, I was like, yeah, this ain't adding up for me.
This
Like,
ain't cutting it for me no more. Yeah.
it's not. So
Mhm.
we really need to see what's going on with this. So that would be when I first had a moment where my
Yeah.
belief system didn't really sit right with.
Yeah. And then also as kids too, like they didn't even like I don't know if how it was for you, but like it's like questions weren't really welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And if they were like, they would just give you the runaround, like some sort of BS answer. And it's like,
yeah,
you really didn't answer my question. You just threw a whole bunch of stuff at the wall hoping it'll stick. But
yeah.
yeah.
But and in Sunday school, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, we already used to Disney and Nickelodeon and all of these fairy tale nonfiction stories. So it's like,
Yeah.
then when you tell us one in Sunday school, and it's like, okay, well, we kids, we just kind of like having fun with it. So it's like, okay, well, I'm used to this world, fairy
Right.
tale world. So
Yeah. Noah in
let's
the flood or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
these just sound like amazing stories to me. So
Right.
hey, but so yeah, that would be my first time I realized that my belief system didn't really sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? The
Definitely
Adam and
share
Eve
that
story.
experience too, bro.
Yeah, man. So, but so overall, the question that I do want us to answer, or at least
Yeah,
journey through, right,
for sure.
is
Let's get it.
just why do people stay connected, or why do people stay stuck or stay in toxic belief systems?
Yeah. What you think?
One of them, I say, identity, right?
Yep.
Because what you believe is what you become, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, beliefs essentially become identity markers.
Agree.
So, staying in something, whether it's toxic or good, it's like it ain't just an idea.
Facts.
That idea now becomes an identity. So, people don't really see themselves outside of that belief. They only see themselves inside that belief. The belief has
Right.
become an identity marker, right?
Wow.
So if your belief is sin conscious, sin
Yeah.
focused, I am a sinner. At the core of me is nothing good. And if your origin story is Adam and Eve and what they did in the garden, and if that is what has been perpetuated and indoctrinated into your mind since child all the way up, that
Facts.
is your identity.
Yeah,
So to tell someone to come out of this belief system, it's like you telling me to come outside of my body, bro.
literally. Because this
Like,
is just what I've been. This is what I've grew up in all my life. It literally intertwined.
yeah,
And everything that I do, like the decisions I make,
yeah,
everyday life.
yeah,
And you're telling me to just let it go?
yeah. Because when faith becomes an identity, what happens when someone questions it?
Mm,
When this is your identity, when someone questions it, you immediately go into defense mode
for sure.
because you're trying to defend yourself,
Fact.
not defend the idea or the belief. You're trying to defend
In
yourself there
yourself. You think
because,
it's subconscious
yeah, it becomes
or conscious?
subconscious.
Yeah.
It becomes our nature. It's second nature
Yeah.
now.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're not thinking critically
That's what
anymore.
I'm saying. Like, yeah,
That's in the subconscious, and it's like out of nature, out of instinct, when someone questions a belief system that you've been in for so long, your
for
almost
sure.
your whole life, you get defensive. And now I'm not just trying to defend my belief, I'm defending who I am because
Who
that's
I
what it
am.
seems like you're questioning is me. Is
Facts.
my whole
Come on.
identity.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's why, that's why people feel personally attacked.
absolutely.
That's why we see it go down in the comment section on Facebook and
Man.
threads and stuff, because it's like we're not arguing ideas. I mean, essentially we are,
Yeah.
but it's become people's identity now.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
people feel attacked because it's like, bro, you are questioning my existence and who I am.
Mhm.
And the truth is, I'm not really. I'm really just questioning the belief that you're in, but that belief has
That's
now
it.
become an identity marker for you.
Facts,
So
absolutely.
I would say identity is one of the reasons why it's really hard for people to come out of toxic belief systems, because now their identity is tied to it. It's not just an idea anymore. It's who I am now.
Absolutely. And that's why, like you said, identity is one of the main reasons why I think it's so important. Um, is because I mean, if we think about it, just like what you were just saying before, if like you think you're a sinner, or if you think you're righteous as a filthy rags, or just some of the things we say we have a sin nature.
Yeah,
If that was the case, then you wouldn't need to take responsibility for your actions because
for
it's just
sure.
who you are,
For sure.
right? But none of us actually thinks this. None of us thinks like sin is just who you are. It's what you gonna do. Like that's normal.
Mm.
But when we see harm going on in the world, like we we speak out about it, like right. We try to stand up for the oppressed, the marginalized. That's because that stuff is not normal.
It's a tragedy. It's a
So if it was a
tragedy.
part of your nature, then you wouldn't even bat an eye at it. It wouldn't bother you,
I mean,
right?
when you think critically about it, it's like if this is
Come
what
on,
we
bro.
are, if this is what we do, it's like a dog barks. So when he barks, you're not like, why is he barking?
Yeah,
You're like, nah, that's what that nigga do. He barks. It's like that's what they do.
these
You
niggas
know what I'm
do,
saying?
man.
Like, that is not
Right.
surprising at any time of
Facts.
the day. At any time
Yes,
of the day. Now, mind you, a dog will bark if he's alerting something, like if he sees something. But
for
for the
sure.
most part, him barking is not surprising to you because
No,
that's a part of his nature.
you don't think twice about it. You hear the bark, you'll probably continue looking at your phone
Yeah.
or whatever you doing at the moment.
But when Johnny gets shot up the street, it's like, oh
Tragedy.
my God.
Hmm.
Like, even though we've heard of murder before and we've seen it before, it's still tragic. And it's like, this should not be happening.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's
Which should
like,
speak more to identity,
yeah,
to who we are at the core of identity, than like just what we're seeing from people based off of like their decisions, behaviors, and actions.
yep,
Right? Because when it really comes down to it, and like tragedy and harm is present, most people, we've got some people, but most people,
yeah,
most people want to see people well.
sure.
And I think that speaks more to our humanity uh, than it does about like certain doctrines or beliefs that we feel like we have to develop in order to have the correct thinking. Because that ultimately doesn't produce life. That doesn't
Yeah,
produce love, right? Just
yeah,
caring for your fellow man
yeah,
is ultimately what it's all about.
yeah. But
Yeah.
that is the contradiction though, like you said, and I'm glad you brought that out. But when when sin is the belief
Yeah.
and then sin becomes the identity, I am a sinner. The contradiction, like you said, is well, when bad things happen, why are we surprised?
You're naturally
Why is it
producing
a
who you are.
tragedy?
Yeah. You're just naturally producing who you are. So what's the
It's like,
problem?
well, another person died up the street the other day and he was shot 12 times during a drive-by. But next up on the list, we got
Next
the,
up, come on. And
you know
we
what
would
I'm
just be
saying?
moving past it. Yeah.
Nah, because
We'd
that's,
be swiping right.
you know, another murder.
Yeah.
It's just normal, you
Come
know.
on, bro.
It's like, no, that's not normal. Like, regardless of how often it happens, that is not how humanity should operate. And
Facts.
that is a sign of a problem, right? And then, of course, fundamentalist Christians will tell you, well, yeah, it's a sin problem. And I was like,
Yeah, of course.
I think it's an identity problem, honestly,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. And if you think it's a sin problem, then it's like good luck with that. You'll probably continue to be in a loop like a guinea pig on a or a hamster on a wheel. Like
Well, I
that's just
mean,
got how it's gonna be for you.
well, because it doesn't go anywhere else from there. If
It's
we're
just who
just
you are,
if we're just sinners, then that's just what it is.
and it's never gonna change.
Yeah.
Because the core of who you are is a sinner.
Right. And we'll never really address the issue for what it is. Like that's another man, it's a lot, but that's another reason, man. So it's like when if that's your core belief is that we're just
Yeah,
sinners and that's our problem, is sin is the problem, then it's like, okay, so what do we do? Then we never really address the problem,
right.
right? Mental health is never examined, trauma is never examined. Like
Yeah,
what leads a human being to do such atrocities on this earth?
facts.
You can't answer that by just saying they have a sin problem.
They
Like,
have a sin
that's
problem.
the worst answer you can give.
Yeah,
Because
because if that's the
what does that mean?
yeah, and even if that's the case, like, all right, we got a sin problem. How do we practically get rid of this problem? You can't. It's who you are. And nigga, what are we talking about? Like, then that means there can be no practical steps, no practical solutions. There can be no transformation for anyone. So why are we even talking about change? Why are we talking about transformation? Why are we talking about the betterment of our world, our communities, our lives, our families?
Because sin ain't a problem if it's your identity. Why we keep calling it a sin problem? It ain't a problem.
Mm. D.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yep, my fault. What the heck? Okay.
You
Go
cool.
ahead.
We back on it. I was saying because we gotta stop calling sin the problem if it's our identity. It will be a problem if it's not our identity.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's our identity, why are we saying it's a sin problem? No, it's not a sin
Exactly.
problem. That's who we are, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's not
Yeah.
a sin problem. Sin is a symptom of the identity. The identity is the problem. Sin is a symptom of not knowing your identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the root of it.
Yeah. No, I don't
Yeah.
think it's the root. I don't think we have a
Facts.
sin problem at all. I don't think that's the
Absolutely.
problem.
Nope.
Sin always
Absolutely
points
not.
to sin points to something else.
Yes.
That's
Exactly.
it's what it points to. It points to something else.
It's the symptom.
Yeah.
Just like if you have a cold and your symptoms is a fever or, warm head, whatever.
Like, oh, you
It's
got a sneezing problem. No, nigga, I got a cold. Like, and I have a cold because it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not
that's
a
exactly
sneezing
what it's
problem.
like, D. You have a fever problem. That's what it is. What?
No, there's something else that's
That's
causing this.
crazy work. That's good right there. I'm still in that.
Man, listen. I just think I think we rid ourselves of responsibility of doing the work,
Absolutely.
of doing the human work of what it means to actually become well and be well. And
Absolutely.
I think it starts with how you see yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's just one of those toxic belief systems that people stay stuck in because it's now become an identity for them, right? So it ain't something
Yep.
you could just shake off,
For sure.
you know?
I
So
agree, bro. Yep.
what else? What
To the
else, man?
next one. So
What else?
a second one, I think I would say fear, right? The
Okay.
fear mechanism. um, and the reason why I think fear, I think it goes back to what I was talking about before about what made me shift where I landed at where I land today is like that hell piece, bro. Like the fear of hell. And I think that's really like the foundation for like fundamentalist doctrine, or for the Christian community. Because if you take away hell, then like for them, it's almost like if you take away hell, they're like, well, then there's no accountability. It's like, what? There's no accountability
Yeah,
because people aren't eternally consciously tormented forever?
yeah,
Like, we gotta relax, bro, on that, and because here's the thing, and I don't wanna get all the way into this, but, like, I remember even people telling me this when I was younger, when I would present, like, that fundamentalist, view to them, and
yeah,
they'd be like, "So you mean to tell me, like, somebody can get eternally tortured for temporary actions that they do on Earth? So let's say we live 80, 90 years in the world,
yep,
but we spend an eternity paying for whatever actions."
yeah. If you
What?
did, if you
That
didn't,
makes
if you didn't confess of your sins,
That's a whole nother story right there. But that doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
Like logically, we thinking about it, and people always compare Josh to like a judge, like a human judge in the world. Hey, you do the crime, you got to do the time, and we do the same thing with God. And it's like, okay, well, if we logically thinking that way,
yeah.
then someone living 80 years in the world and eternity for those actions, does that add up to you? And so that's like the part where critically thinking doesn't come in. But I also think like a fear of disappointing God too.
Okay,
Like, and that was a big one for me too, bro. Like, because I struggle with things like, pornography growing up and,
sure.
lust, just the typical things that a lot of the men, I'm sure a lot of men struggle with, and that a lot of men, even in the Christian community in the church, struggle with a lot. Because I remember, experiencing some of those things. And it was like the disappointing God, bro. Like we talking about the sin, like, oh, my sin, I'm watching this, I'm listening to secular music, I'm lusting after women, I'm drinking, I'm going out every weekend. And it was like those things and that fear of like, oh, God probably looks at me, crosses his arms, shakes his head, like, you such bad sinner human.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? I need to clean my act up. I need to stop doing this, stop doing that. Not
And
even really.
that's the tension, and that's the
Yes.
struggle,
Yeah.
is thinking we gotta clean our act up.
Clean our act up.
I was at work the other day, bro, and, one of my guys at work, he's always giving us stories of, these chicks that he be chasing and stuff, man.
Yeah.
So then he just has this sobering moment where he's just like, "Man, I gotta get my life together, man. I gotta stop chasing these women, man." And, so I was like, I said, "Well, what you really gotta deal with is what are you really chasing? Because it ain't the women.
Hmm. Facts.
The women is just a byproduct.
Yeah.
What is it that you really chasing?" And
What's your
we didn't dive into the conversation because it really wasn't the time for that. But I was just like, it's just felt necessary to say. I was like, bro, the women is not the problem. Like
right?
you're trying to chase something else, and the women is just what is it's what you're using to chase that thing.
Facts. But
You know what I'm saying?
there's a desire within you that's not being fulfilled, and then the women is just a byproduct of what you're trying to fulfill.
Right.
Right.
The human work is figuring that out.
Figuring that out.
If we just
Facts.
stop at, well, we just got a sin problem. If we just
Yeah.
stop at that,
Yeah.
we'll never get to the work. So it's like, bro, no, what are you really
Come on.
chasing?
Come on.
Because it's not the women. What is it that you're really chasing? What void are you trying to fill? What insecurity are you trying to, you know what I'm saying, deal with? So it's like there's human work that comes behind that can actually
Facts.
make a person better and well. But
Absolutely.
just staying at it's a sin problem. It's like, okay, well, what do I do with a sin problem?
Yeah, you don't arrive at growth by not asking questions. Right? You gotta be curious, you gotta ask questions, you gotta challenge like your thoughts. Right? Like if we really are talking about being better as a humanity, then if we're gonna just chuck it up to, it's just the way it is, or it's just the way it was set up. Like somebody told me about bashing babies' heads against rocks in the Bible. It was like just the way it was set up,
That's the way
man.
God set it up.
If it's just the way it was set up, then again, bro, like then we shouldn't even have police then. Get rid of the law because free fall. Everybody can do what they want to do. Why are we holding people accountable and responsible for their actions if we all just
If that's
dirty and
our
rotten?
identity.
Come on. It doesn't make any sense, bro. It's
At all.
backwards.
Yeah.
It's backwards thinking.
Yeah.
Very backwards thinking.
Yeah.
Another one too, bro, I think is a fear of losing spiritual covering. And I think that kind of goes into a little bit of like, that the other point where we're going to get into next. But I think a lot of Christians think that, again, it kind of goes into that fear of like disappointment, but like not just disappointment with God, but that spiritual covering, meaning disappointment in like your mentors or people you do life with.
Yeah.
If you share this, if obviously, people when they share certain beliefs, they typically click up, they friends, they cool,
Yeah.
right? But what I've noticed is usually in religion, when you stop believing the same way someone else does, then that was kind of like that bond that kept you two together. And that, and once those beliefs start to, then that friendship and relationship starts to, and
Boop.
it's like, wait a second. And that stuff can really break your heart too, bro. Cause it's like,
Oh, it's traumatic.
thought our relationship was really built on like we really rock with
Mm-mm.
each other, love. Like, nah,
Mm-mm.
it was just, nah. You believe the same way we did,
You was
and
with the program.
you was with the program. You spiritually covered us while we spiritually cover you, but
You
now
was
we can no longer
you
spiritually
was
cover you because you're not under our covering anymore. You've went else.
that's some of the most manipulative stuff, boy, I done seen.
Come on with it.
Whew, I done seen so much of that, man,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual fathers and spiritual mentors and this
Mm-hmm.
oh, man, it
Bruh.
became such a perverted relationship, man, and it became just man, like you said, bro, it's like but then when we start changing our belief or seeing something differently, it affects the relationship, and it's like, "Oh, well, you ain't with the program no more, man. We're gonna have to sever our relationship."
And it's like, whoa, but like, it ain't like it's hostility between us. I just said, like, I don't land on this thing anymore.
Sure.
So you mean to tell me, like, okay, because you don't land where we land, we got to rid ourselves from you because you may get us dirty,
Yeah.
like with thinking. And we got to, like, stay in our correct thinking.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Get with the program.
Which actually gets us into the next point, which is fear of being deceived.
Mm.
I think a lot of people, once they develop certain beliefs, once it becomes a part of their identity, like you said, there becomes layers upon layers. And therefore, you, even when someone presents a different idea, a different
Mhm.
concept, a different perspective that
Yeah.
challenges your way of thinking, you fear that they're trying to deceive you because the
Yeah.
Bible says stuff about like watching out for people that's going to deceive you and this and that. And a lot of Christians take that verse in a vacuum and try to develop their own bias theologies, right? Or their own perspectives that they've already developed in life through their identity and through who shaped them by what they've heard and been
Yeah.
taught. And then they approach it through the Bible with that through that filtered lens. And then they say, yeah, see, the Bible says don't be deceived. So that means everything that's in the Bible doesn't deceive you and everything outside of the Bible does deceive you. And we
Mm.
kind of like have that like black and white, like thinking of right and wrong. It's,
It's
it's just,
binary. That binary
yes,
thinking.
yes, bro. That's,
Binary
that,
thinking.
that's perfect right there. That's the
That
perfect word
binary
for it.
thinking, man, and it's like all of this gray area, the nuance and the complexities of the situation, that
It's
don't
deception.
matter. It's
Yeah.
either black or it's either white. It's either right or wrong. It's either good or evil. And if it
Yeah.
doesn't fit in one of those two categories, then
By default, it's the evil.
by
That's what they say.
by default, by
Yeah.
default, it's the evil. If you're confused,
Yeah. That's of the devil because
because
God ain't the art of confusion.
that's the line right there. That's the
Yeah.
line right there. Yeah,
For
man.
sure.
Because fear is one of those strongest tools that keeps people loyal.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Fear is what keeps people loyal. If I can keep
Facts.
you in this paradigm of binary thinking and like that push and pull of heaven and hell, if I can keep you in between this, right? That's what keeps people loyal.
Facts.
And they go through that whole thing that you was just talking about, the fear of hell, fear of disappointing God, fear of my pastor being mad at me, God being mad
Facts.
at me, or just losing my community. Like, and those are some real things. Like, I'm not saying that's just petty stuff. Those are real things. Like,
Real talk.
it becomes like it's a painful experience to have to deal with the weight of that, right? Because it's like again, back to the beginning of our conversation, like beliefs become identity. So it's like,
Yeah.
this is who I am now. And now I've built a community off this. You know, me and my pastor have a good relationship and the first lady. And it's like, I got this relationship with God. So it's like so much is built on it. And then once you start cracking at that glass, it's a scary thing.
'Cause all that starts to change, and it
Yeah.
now the unknown is literally right in front of us, and all of us as human beings are uncomfortable with the unknown,
And it's
right?
scary. It's scary.
There's no certainty there,
Yeah.
right? We don't know what's coming next, so we
Yeah.
just like, man, like this is all I've ever known, and like again, fear keeps people trapped, bro. Even if
Yeah.
I think honestly too, a lot of people, because I think me and you've had this conversation before too, where people have talked about like, man, behind closed doors, a lot of people really ain't even believing this message or actually believes, or they deny this message or they actually believe differently than this message. However, they still stay stuck in these communities because they're providing certain things for them, or this is just where their comfort is, and they're scared to go out. And it kind of reminds me of like Nicodemus when he met Jesus at night,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
What I like where you're going with this. So it's like
Yep.
there's some preachers like who would talk to a pastor who is like giving this liberating theology and
Yeah.
coming against the doctrine of hell and different stuff like that. But anyway, and then you'll have these pastors, well-known pastors, who would be like behind closed doors, be like, man,
Yeah.
what you saying is right, but
Right.
I can't preach that to my
I
congregation.
can't. Yeah.
That's because the belief again has been now become the identity, and the identity has now fostered a community, right? And
Yeah.
in that community now transactions are being made, right? Now people are not even just invested spiritually and emotionally, they're invested financially.
Yeah.
So this
Fact.
church is built off of the belief that became an identity, and then that identity that has now fostered a community. And
In
now
the moment.
they're all giving towards that now. So I can't just switch it up on them and tell them the thing that has become your identity, yeah, let's question that.
Let's question that. No,
I
because it's
can't
gonna cost you
I can't do
everything.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
cost you financially, socially, spiritually,
Mhm.
mentally, psychologically, hell,
Man,
maybe even physically.
it's it. And
Yeah.
until a leader is willing to go through that,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Freedom won't be preached.
Mm.
Liberation won't be preached unless you're willing to deal with the cost of that.
Facts.
It won't be preached, man. And it's like I have so much respect for pastors who walked away from it all because I know that that choice was not easy to make,
Man, it
especially when
wasn't,
your
bro.
livelihood was built off of that organization or that identity. And it's like to walk away from that, you've had to have wrestled for that for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. 100%,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you brought that out though, man, because fear, I think, is definitely one of those components that makes people stay in a toxic belief system, right?
Facts. For sure.
It's an identity, and fear is being taught. Fear is infused into that identity as well.
Most definitely. True freedom is facing the truth, not hiding from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, we kind of really touched on it. Also, it's like there's a social cost to this too, right?
For sure.
So it's like when you leave a belief system, it carries real social consequences. And you talked about it when you talking about spiritual covering. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, once I start believing different or thinking different and moving different, it's
Yeah.
like now I'm gonna start getting cut off.
Cut off. Excommunicated.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you can
Mhm.
even come to people like, "Man, hey man, I just been thinking about this differently," and it's just
Hear
like,
me out.
Hear me out. Like, let's have the conversation. Let's
Yeah.
journey." And it's like, mm-mm, can't do that
Can't
because
do that.
it sound like you
Trying
losing
to deceive
faith.
me.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's that
yeah.
fear of being deceived.
And it's like we can't journey no more. Like I can't have questions. I can't doubt. I can't I can't like think differently or shift my
Yeah.
perspective on something because it's going to cost me my relationship with the people that I've built a community with around a shared belief.
Facts. And I might not even land there, but I'm
Yeah.
just wanting to be open to that perspective.
Mhm.
Right? Because being open is ultimately what's gonna land. I mean, all of us are trying to seek, the right answers, quote unquote, or the truth, bro. But ultimately, we're not going to get there by being boxed into a specific category. You
Are
got to
we
be
trying to seek
open.
the right answers, or does our belief tell us that we have it already and we just need to stick to that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
most
I think that's what it
fundamentalists,
is.
most fundamentalist Christians, like the playbook is already written.
We got it already. You just need
You
to come
you
over
just
here and
gotta
get on
stay
board.
in the playbook.
Get on board. That's it.
You just gotta stay in the playbook. Ain't no
Hmm.
curiosity, ain't no
Facts.
creativity, unless you just trying to make the playbook that much more
Exactly.
attractive.
Yeah.
But the playbook is written.
It's already there for you.
Stay in the playbook.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
I think it gets to a point where some people are not trying to figure it out. They're just
Yeah.
trying to stay within the game that's already figured out so that I can stay within the know of what everybody else got going on.
You know, by definition, that sounds like a cult.
Hey man, it's a lot of Kool-Aid being drunken around here, bro.
A lot of Kool-Aid what?
It's a lot of Kool-Aid being drunken around here. I don't know if
Man,
I
come
said that
on,
right,
bro.
but it's a lot of Kool-Aid drinking around here, bro.
Crazy. That's
You ever
crazy
seen that
work.
documentary of Jim Jones?
I haven't. What was it about?
Wild. You heard of Jim Jones?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so yeah, you gotta check out the documentary. It just talks about the whole how it all came about, like how he built this whole cult following and led all of these people to live on this island. And eventually, the end goal was he made them believe that heaven is the goal, and we should be trying to expedite that and get there sooner.
Yeah.
And
What?
he had them all line up and drink this poison drink, and it was
Commit suicide.
hundred committing suicide, basically hundreds of bodies on this island that was found, and it all came from this cult following and this belief system that he was preaching.
You know what's so crazy though? Even though that is insane to me, I still respect the fact that dude actually he actually like followed up with what he said he believed. And what I mean by that is this. A lot of Christians like to talk about how like, yeah, if you don't believe, then you're gonna go to hell when you die, or there's eternal consequences for like you not believing having
Mhm,
the correct thinking.
mhm.
If that were really true, shouldn't every Christian like be on the street corners with bullhorns? Like you should not care about your jobs, not care about you're really selfish.
But
Because if
they out
that's
there.
yeah,
They out
they are.
there.
They
They
are.
doing it.
They are. But I'm talking about your ones in the church. The ones that are, in your comment
Yeah,
section.
yeah, for sure. It's like if you believe this wholeheartedly, then I don't think the comment section is where you need to be at.
Come on, bro. You need to be out here on street corners. Like this need to become your life, your mission, your main
Yeah.
objective. No job, no make your money, no have a family. No, you don't get that luxury.
Mm-mm.
This is for the people to get into the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you see what I'm saying?
for sure.
But nobody's really thinking that way. No one's really doing that, and that's why it's like, do we really believe what we say we believe? Because even according to that brother right there, Jim Jones, he even though that's insane, and I don't believe that's right. He still literally said the goal is to get to heaven when we die, so we should commit suicide. And it's like
And
that,
expedite the process.
that's a great question for Christians, bro.
And what's crazy is, although that's extreme,
Yeah,
I've seen people on my timeline and online, like, they want Jesus to come soon.
facts.
Like, "Jesus, I'm ready for you to come take me away," and I'm like, I've I ain't gonna lie, I was petty sometimes, and I would respond to some of them posts, and I'd be like, "I'm not. Hey, you can go, but I'm not going
Yeah,
nowhere right now. Like,
yeah.
I'm not done here."
I'm not done here.
Like, regardless of what's going on in the world, I don't want Jesus to come sooner.
Me neither.
If that's your belief, right? If that's your belief, if you're waiting on Jesus to come back and return, and if you believe in the rapture and all that type of stuff, like,
Yeah.
no, like, I'm 35.
Hmm. I still got a whole lot of
I
life to
still got a
live.
whole lot of
It's a
life to
whole bunch
live.
of things I haven't done yet. Man, I ain't got to
Yeah,
travel here and travel there and try
come
this type of
on.
food.
You
Like,
know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
the life abundantly that
that's what I'm looking
Jesus
for.
talks about is what I want to be a part of.
That's what I want.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm 35, bro. I'm still at the tip of the iceberg, man. You know
Come
what I'm
on,
saying?
bro.
So it's like it's a
Still
lot of
young.
life. It's a lot of life that I haven't got experience yet, and it's a lot of things I want to
Facts.
see my children do, and I want to see how they turn out. Like,
Facts.
no, no, I don't want Jesus to come right now.
Bruh.
And we should not be trying to expedite that process, again, if that's what you believe.
No, Jesus, don't come back yet. I still ain't done stuff. I've
Yeah.
just now turned 30. Like, man, give me another 30, 40 years. Then come back. You gonna come back.
Longer than that. I'm 35.
Facts.
Give me another 60,
50.
70 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts. Yeah, then come back at the end of my age. Yeah.
man,
Right.
it's yeah, but yeah, I've seen people like want that process to be expedited, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, that belief is so man, it's I don't even know the word, bro. They embody that belief so heavy, man, and it's just like again, it becomes that identity. It's like we just the belief that Jesus is coming back and we just embody that. Like
Yeah.
we just hear pilgrims just traveling through and Jesus is coming back sometime when we don't know,
We
you
don't know.
know.
Yeah.
Even if there's signs and everything, we still don't know, you know what I'm saying? But he's coming back and it's just like it's this impending fear that a lot of believers still have. Like I mean, you look at what's going on now with Iran and all of this craziness and
For
bombs
sure.
and stuff going
For
on. It's
sure.
just like people are trying to correlate that with the Bible.
Yep.
And man, it's a lot of fear.
It is, bro.
It's a lot of fear, man, and it saddens me. Honestly, it saddens me because again, it's one of those toxic belief systems, man, and it saddens me when people take what's going on in the world now and they try to correlate it to the end time belief
Yeah.
because it's like because then it makes me want to pose a question. Was like, okay, well, how does that make you feel? Like
Right.
if if what's going on is a sign of the times,
Yeah.
what then are you telling your children?
Mm.
Because if we get in there, if we get in there, what then are you telling your children who have aspirations to become something,
Yeah.
but their parent is correlating everything that's going on in the world now to end times, meaning we ain't got much longer. Are you then telling your child, hey, I know you want to be a ball player, but that might not happen?
Right. And I
I
think a lot of them are doing that though, because I think they looking at it like, well, you don't have to do that. We can just continue going on about our lives, and then when Jesus just come back, he comes back.
It don't make sense. Because if what's going on in the world right now is a sign of the end of the times, the time must be drawing near.
Yeah, niggas need to be getting their bags packed.
If we don't know that time, that's gonna make me scared because it could happen at any time. So what do you mean? No, we could just continue living our life. It's like, no, nigga, I'm scared. Like you
I'm
just told
scared,
me this
bro.
stuff is going on is Bible prophecy, and we gotta prepare ourselves and get ourselves ready because Jesus can come back at any time. I don't want to go on vacation. I'm scared.
I can't even think about my job or my kids or what I need to do for my household right now because I am literally in fear that at any moment the clouds could be split open and dude can come back on a white horse with a sword in his hand, ready to wreak havoc.
No, I can't just keep living my life. Like, no, I can't do that. Like, no, this is it's too much anxiety. You know what I'm
You
saying?
didn't
And it's
watch too
like,
much Narnia and Harry Potter.
you know what I'm saying? And that toxic belief
Yeah.
system, it's like, man, people are so entrenched with it, bro. And it's just it's paralyzing.
Facts.
It's
And I think a lot
paralyzing.
of people have that belief too, bros. To be honest, I think laziness is another reason why people carry that belief, the end times, last days, because it delegates responsibility and accountability, right? If Jesus is coming back at any moment, then you don't got no responsibility to like love your neighbor or do well in your community or do well in your household because Jesus is coming back. So I don't got to love you
And with
because
this and with
pretty,
this with this potential war going
pretty soon
on,
the sheep and goats are going to be separated. So I ain't got to worry about y'all
them clouds
goats.
is about to open up.
Yeah.
They about to open up. So I mean, what good is us doing a crusade now?
Yeah.
What good is us doing a revival now? This time's running out.
It just don't make sense, bro.
Yeah, it's man. Yeah, leaving a belief system is it's tough, man. It's
It
tough, and
is.
it's not easy. It's not just it don't come from just a conversation, right? And it don't come from evidence either. right?
Nah.
Because you can debate or have a really good conversation with people, and you can show them evidence. Like you can connect the dots for them, or you can show them the holes in their belief system. But it's like none of that is going to trump loyalty. None of
Yeah.
that is going to trump identity.
Mhm.
None of that is going to trump the fact that that belief has now became something that we embody. So you poking holes at me is an attack on me. You're you're not proving anything to me. You're showing me that you're against me.
Exactly.
So now we can't be friends no more.
Yeah,
That's that's what that does. That's
man.
when you start giving evidence, that's what that does.
It
It's
does.
not evidence, it's shots.
Exactly.
And they take that personally, and that's how people, sever relationships with one another when it comes to this belief stuff, because it's like, no, no, like get with the program. We got to be on the same page. And it's like, if we not on the same page, and they'll use scripture and they'll use spirituality to say that we're unequally yoked, all because you challenge their belief. Now we're
Beliefs.
unequally yoked and we can
Yeah,
no longer be friends.
right.
And it's like,
It don't
man,
even make sense, bro, because relationship even when we look at life and like how it just goes in general, relationship always comes before belief.
it
Like
should.
it should. Like even with our kids, like we have relationship before they ever believed anything first about us. It was just relationship first.
Mhm.
And then beliefs came after. Or
Yeah.
a better word I would say is trust.
Okay.
Right? But your kids begin to trust you
Yeah.
as they develop that relationship with you, as they develop that intimacy, that bond.
Yeah.
And then because Mally and Zay don't gotta be like, I gotta believe that Pops is gonna come pick us up from practice or
Mhm.
school. They just trust it simply because they have a relationship with Pops.
Yeah.
We know he's on his way.
Yeah.
We ain't gotta make sure we have the correct thinking about it. We ain't gotta make sure we believe the right things or believe that he's actually coming to get us. Whether we believe it or not, he's coming to get us because that's Pops.
He's told me, he's done it before, and
A pattern.
I believe and trust that whole consistency of that pattern. So it's like he know what time practice is over. He know what time the game is over. So I know that when I look out this door, dad is going to be there.
Because of relationship.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man. People do they don't stay because the belief is convincing.
Yeah.
They stay because the cost of leaving is too high.
Say it again. Say it one more
They
time.
don't stay because the belief is convincing. They believe because the cost of staying or the cost of leaving is too high.
That's such a bar right there.
You know what I'm saying? It's too much tied to this, bro.
Yeah.
This identity started at inception, and like for me, I was raised in the church, right? Sunday school, vacation Bible school,
The
all
whole
that.
nine. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it has been my identity for years, man. And it's like, it ain't because they convinced me.
Yeah.
It's just because that's what I was indoctrinated with, and I was told to be loyal to that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And a
Yeah.
lot of us are loyal by default,
For sure.
not
That's what we grew
loyal
up in.
because we made a conscious decision. We're loyal by default.
Right.
And I've been told, and it's been it's always been reinforced that if I leave this,
Mm-hmm.
like I remember pastors telling my parents that if you leave your spiritual covering, your life is gonna go into shambles.
These are your consequences. And
You
it's like,
gonna
wait.
and then so it's like if 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 you lose your home, lose your job, it's all because you didn't stay loyal to the program.
Yeah.
Like
And then
I've heard these things said, bro. Like
literally.
that's how damning these things become.
And they'll make it sound so genuine. They'll make it sound so logical, D. Like they'll say, yeah, but that's like anything in life. We're saying if you leave the church, you're losing your spiritual cover, and the consequences of that is this. This is the result.
Yeah.
Now, and they'll make it seem like logical, like, yeah, but there's consequences to everything in life. If
Mhm.
you late to your job, ain't you gonna get fired, right? So it's like that's so this the consequence of like you leave your spiritual covering, then and it's like Hold on, bro. Did
I
you
hate
really just?
I hate when they make those comparisons, bro, and they think they ate with that. They
Yeah,
think
they
they
think they
think
ate with it.
they think they really went crazy with that, bro. And it's just like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't if you leave your job, you get fired, don't you?
See, so it means it's the same way over here with this.
It shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the same. Like, this is family, bro. This is community. And you telling
Yeah.
me because I have differing thoughts, or I'm thinking differently, or I've shifted my perspective, or I'm journeying, or I'm doubting, you know what I'm saying? That means excommunication. That means we
Yeah.
should disassociate ourselves from each other. Like, if this is a business, if this is what it is, then you should have told me that from the beginning, and you
From the
should have pointed
beginning.
out the contract to me from the beginning so I could read in detail what I'm really signing myself up for.
This was never covenant. This was just contract.
Mm.
Mm.
And that's how we treat it, man. We treat it
Yep.
contractually, man. And it's just
Yep.
like, once you don't abide by the bylaws of this contract, it's over. The
It's
contract is
over.
breached.
Yep. Treat it just like a business. And it's
And I
like,
I've been wiped off too. I've been wiped off too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we ain't got nothing to do with him and his family and none of that no more.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't with the program no more.
Yeah, and that make it seem like you're the issue. Like he just couldn't like stick with the program, and so he did what he thought was best for him, and he left.
Yeah. Now I'm labeled as rebellious, I'm backsliding,
And
leaving
it's
my
like, but
spiritual
no, nigga, you
covering.
not safe.
Yeah.
You bring harm, right? And you induce fear into people in order to manipulate and control them to do what you want to do. That way, it benefits you.
Yeah.
Or just because you want your biases and your perspective and perceptions are like to be confirmed by having a lot of people on your coattails.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
This was a good conversation.
It's a great conversation. But I mean, it just makes you reflect on the things we used to be a part of.
Yeah,
Like, I remember being loyal to a default, bro. I remember being loyal to things that just they weren't good for me.
bro,
Well, there are beautiful things that came from that. Sure.
for
There
sure.
was a community there. There's people that I'm still connected to now that
Facts.
came from those old systems that I used to be a part of. I mean, a lot of my training ground as a musician came from being in those communities. So it's a
Yep.
lot of beautiful things that came with it. Unfortunately, it was just a program that if once you stop being a part of the program, there's no concern for your well-being at all anymore.
Right.
You
'Cause you're
know,
not
and
with
you
us no more.
and deconstructing and tearing down those sacred cows and like really wrestling through and thinking critically about what you once believed, man, it's a process, bro. Like, it ain't
Yeah.
nothing, it ain't just a changed mind. Like, it gets it could be a struggle, man, because it's like you're not just changing how you see things.
Facts.
Everything else everything else comes with that.
Most definitely.
Relationship shifts, your community shifts, like your connections that you once had, your relationships that you once had, all of that shifts, man. It
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah. Sad, bro. It's like you said recently. Uh Unfortunately, disagreement connects the disagreement causes division,
Yeah.
unfortunately, in our culture. Right? We disagree with people and it causes further division, but it's like disagreement doesn't have to lead to division,
It don't.
right?
It should cause us to come closer. It should. Cause now we should become curious, like, cause it's like, man, what brought you
Why do we
there?
disagree?
Yeah.
Let's have conversations and figure out why we disagree,
Hmm.
right? Critically thinking about these things,
Yeah.
asking questions. Then we may figure out why the person landed where they landed. Who knows? We
Because they landed there for a reason.
For a reason.
Very seldom are people just contrarian and are just being different just for the sake of being different. Like,
Yeah,
there's even that has a reason. Like, why would this person be just want to choose to be opposite? Like,
exactly.
what's the issue? What's the underlying issue
Come on,
that's
bro.
really bringing about this
Come
tension?
on. Come on. Obviously, like you said, Jesus said he came to give life and give it more abundantly.
Mhm.
Obviously, the decision or the fact that this person landed on this thing is because it gives them life and more abundantly.
Yeah,
Right? It does something for them. It's for the betterment of their lives.
yeah,
And maybe not even just their lives, but for their community and the people that do life with them.
yeah,
In fact, by default, that's what it's going to be because as you grow, as you uh make decisions that are gonna be for the betterment of yourself, then ultimately your cup's gonna overflow,
Yeah,
right? The people that are around you are gonna experience that from you.
yeah,
So that's the same thing. Like we gotta look at it that same way,
yeah. I
right?
agree. I agree. Leaving a belief system is not. It's not just changing ideas, right?
Mm,
It requires you to rebuild everything.
everything, bro.
You got to rebuild your identity, your community. You got to rebuild your meaning. You got to rebuild your morality.
Everything.
Like we ain't just changing teams. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just you know, I'm getting traded now and I'm just
Yeah,
putting on a different jersey. It's not that transactional. Like everything has to be rebuilt now.
it's a whole paradigm shift,
Yeah. It's everything's changing. It's like you're basically building a whole new life.
literally,
And even in that rebuilding, you still have a lot of, you know, like things that's like still showing up from how you
for
used to
sure.
like it's not just a clean cut off point and now
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I still wrestle with some belief systems. It's like that I can't reconcile right now.
yeah,
Like that's part of the journey. Like that's the work. You know what I'm saying? But it's like but at the same time, I can honestly say for these last 5 years of my life, that's what me and my wife has been doing. We've been rebuilding identity, rebuilding our community, rebuilding
yeah,
the meaning, rebuilding morality, and like all of that ain't finished yet. Like
absolutely.
we just now we ain't even put a nail to nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
we just building out the framework right now.
Exactly, facts.
You know what I'm
Because you
saying?
didn't
So it's like,
deconstruct it so much and
yeah,
unlearn so much. Now it's time to reconstruct that back
yeah,
up from a more solid, healthy foundation.
yeah. And it's like
Yeah.
we still trying to lay the concrete, bro. Like we ain't. It's just
The
frames up, my
foundation
nigga,
ain't
like,
laid yet.
it ain't nah, it's
We
like,
ain't started on the pretty part of the house.
mm-mm,
We ain't
and
started on the
trust me,
rooms and all that
I
yet.
can't wait till we get to the decorum, like, I
Yeah.
can't wait, but we not there yet, bro.
Nah, this is just the
We
beginning.
not there, and most people stay because rebuilding their entire life is overwhelming,
Yeah, it
and
is,
so I
bro.
can tell you right now, bro, as
Hmm.
a church musician, I've gotten several calls to go back and play at certain churches and the money would be great.
Yep.
But it's like I can't be in that no more.
Wow.
Do I
The
enjoy
money ain't
playing
even
do
worth
I
it no
enjoy
more.
playing bass? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Do I enjoy playing with some of the guys that I've worked with over the years? Of course, like it's fun. And don't get me wrong, I still do that like at times. Like I still do the gig sometimes. I still go and play at someone else's service at times and
Right.
it's enjoyable, but it's like
For
can I
sure.
stay in this? I can't.
Being in environments, you just can't do it for too
I
long.
can't stay in this. I can't
Yeah.
bring my family in this.
Mm-mm.
We just left this.
Yeah, we just left it.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
we can't come back to this for the sake of a check. Like I just can't do it, bro. And it's just like, is this rebuilding overwhelming? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
Is it
and I
worth
and,
it?
and I see why some people would just be like, man, whatever, and just like don't even continue building. They just kind of like
Yeah.
they just start migrating back to where they came from because it was just easier.
This takes work, bro.
It takes a lot of work, bro, and it's
Yeah.
really overwhelming, but it's just like what I saw growing up and the well-being of people, like the condition of humanity
For sure.
because of these belief systems, toxic
Yeah.
belief systems was so damning and it was just so harmful and it was just like, man, it became more real to me when I started having children
Yeah. It
because it was
does.
like I don't want them to grow up in this same
Facts. No. No,
the
sir.
starting point cannot be the same as my starting point.
Nah. Heck no.
You know, especially when it comes to spirituality and just belief and all of that type of stuff. Like
Heck yeah.
I I can't do that. And
Yeah.
I can't you can't dangle a check in front of me and now my children are around this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just yeah.
Leading by example, and they're seeing me like, okay, that tells me that to dad, the check's more important than morality or identity.
I mean, and that's what you model. Because my son Malachi, he's 11 years old. He's a very he's an observative kid, and he asks questions like, and I can see it happening now. Like if we start going to another church because
Mhm.
dad has a full-time job playing bass here, he's going to ask like, why are we at this church?
Yeah,
And and I'm gonna keep it real with him, like, son, they paying me a lot playing bass over here. And it's like, oh, okay. So dad went back to the stuff that he said he got away from because the check was with.
we gotta know that's what's gonna register in their mind.
Eventually, it may not happen right at 11 years old,
Right.
but 15, 16, he was like, I remember dad taking the check and going back to somewhere he said he wouldn't go back to.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Come on,
like,
bro.
so
Come on, bro.
my question to those is listening is like, are you staying somewhere because it is true or because leaving would cost too much?
Mm,
Are you staying
mm.
somewhere because it's true or are you staying because leaving would actually cost too much?
That's a very good question.
You know, because the truth is we all believe something. And however long you've been believing that, it becomes an identity. It's your
Facts.
identity marker. It's how you identify, right? My only concern and my only question is that belief serving you well?
Right.
And is it leading a life that endorses love, health, well-being, and a peace of mind? Like,
Come on, bro.
does it bring about that? Like, cause that's my concern. That's my concern. Are you grounded in your reality? And does it bring about peace? So much so that I can flourish in being an amazing human being that honors God and serves people and leads a life that I can say, I'm glad I'm living this life and I'm enjoying living in this vibrant life.
That's what it's
If
all
you can
about.
say that, go ahead, big dog, do your thing.
Do your thing. I ain't got no pushback against you. Cause
More power to you.
you serving yourself well and others.
And if that's where you at, tip my hat off to you.
Absolutely.
I
That's
just know that
audible.
there were certain systems that I needed to leave
Yeah,
in order to get me closer to that,
absolutely.
you know. But if you found that, my hat is tipped off to you for sure.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I hope that you're showing other people how to get that.
My pop said that to me one time before, man. Cause my pops, I don't necessarily know what he believes currently, because we've had some conversations about it. But previously, he believed in Islam. He was Muslim, and I remember at one point, we would always have those back and forth conversations, and then he was like, "You know what, though, son? Like, even though I don't necessarily agree with your beliefs," he said, "if your beliefs is what is gonna make you a better dude and like live out this life and be a good person," he was like, "Man, I'm all for that." And then my pops probably don't even know this, but to this day, like him saying that, I remember that, bro. Because I'm like, you know what, pops, I ain't never heard nobody ever say that before.
Yeah.
Literally, and that's a prime example right there of like relationship, bro. Two people that believe differently. Hey, but you know what, man? Even though we challenging each other, and I don't necessarily agree with you, if what you believe in is what's making you better, what you
Yeah.
feel like is the betterment for yourself and others,
Yeah.
I can't argue with that, bro. If you
For
really
sure.
believe that's making you better and and making you better for other people, treating others well, I'm all for it. Like you said, I tip my hat off to it.
Your belief should be beautiful.
Facts.
What you believe and who you become should be beautiful, and other people
Hey,
should be able to look at that and say, "Hey, that right there, it works. That right there is
amen.
beautiful, and it
Come
actually
on, big
produces
bro.
a life that I'm attracted to."
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
That's
just
it.
like your belief and who you become should be beautiful. Oh, and that's the reason why this conversation I think is important, and it's important for us to journey through these type of questions, is because
Absolutely,
it's
bro.
like where has your belief landed you? What have you become because of this
Mm-hmm.
belief?
Yeah.
You know, are you hyper vigilant?
Yeah.
And do you have a lot of anxiety because it's like, man, I can't, if I leave this belief, the cost of that is going to be extremely high.
Right.
Or are you grounded in your reality because of that belief? and I'm good. Like I'm sane, I'm mentally clear, I'm spiritually good, and I'm producing a life that is loving and light and full of love and faithfulness and just grace.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yep.
ask yourself those questions.
Ask yourself those questions and really be and if you're challenged by them, then that should tell you something
Yeah,
because typically we grow when we're uncomfortable.
yeah, yeah.
So I think that's just I think if it challenges you to come out of your comfort zone, I think you're taking the right step. That's just me though.
I'm with it. I'm with it. So that's our conversation for today, people. I really appreciate y'all tuning in and
Sure, appreciate
going on
y'all.
this journey with us. So but until then, be curious,
Ask
ask
questions.
questions, and talk your
Talk to your
shift.
shift.
I'ma holla at y'all.
Peace.